everybody. Mark Reed with Think and Grow Rich. Today is the 12th principle. I have to stop with this. I'm training to be a speaker, so this is practice for me. I have been with you in a while because I let the terror barriers hit me. If you, yes, there's a Napoleon Hill with Think and Grow Rich. There's Bob Proctor with the Proctor Gallagher Institute, who takes in this teaching, this platform, this knowledge, this book, and teaches it in a more in-depth way than I do. My purpose here is to give you bullets, like I've said in the other videos, is to help you just get a grasp, I guess, on what is Think and Grow Rich and what is this law, or law of attraction. Like, it's very well explained in the secret. There's one thing that's not really mentioned in Think and Grow Rich is the terror barriers. It's once you get to, okay, you start from where you are today. Okay, you're a home worker, you have a job, you make a certain amount of money. That's what you're used to. You know, you have a wife, you don't have a wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, a spouse. You don't. You've had troubles with relationships before, like I did. Whatever the circumstances were before, now you're getting into this process of writing down your dreams, your goals. And by doing so, you're opening your mind to more possibilities and start to believe that all is possible. Then you get to a point where you start imagining, start getting exciting, start expecting results. But then those results, they start coming. And they start coming. Not the full spec of what you want, but you're getting, you know, let's say you want to make $100,000 next year. It's not going to come in one shot. It might. You don't know how the universe works, but sometimes it comes in small. So then your faith grows, the money comes more. That's the way it works. But let's say, okay, I'll take myself an example. I think it's the best way to put it. I want to do this. I am a speaker already. Now I have to take it to like the level that I want to, international. To get paid. People who need enough money for it. Yeah. Yeah, because it's there. It's there. So I got into this program with Mary Morrissey, who teaches, like Bob Proctor teaches, the same principles, but more. Bob Proctor is very technical, very scientific. He's amazing. I listen to both. I love both. Mary Morrissey, she's more into the spiritual, the emotional side of it. It's two different approach with the same results. I need both. And in that program is a dream building program where I wrote down a vision of my life. And that vision came from God. It doesn't come from anything else. Once you sit down with yourself and you read and you ask what you really want, and what comes out, it's there. That's what you deserve. Mine is a house in DC, what horses, birds. I both stay from the SPCA, sailboats, taking kids come out from jails and sailboats, building a sanctuary in Africa for animals that come from war zones, and having orphans on that farm, working with them in the sanctuary, helping communities around generate income and build business around them for these communities. We build a school or a mini hospital over there, so you know. But all these things are possible to me. They're there. They're in the universe. They are already created in the universe because I wrote them down. Now it's my job is to go take them. But then you have to go through. I don't like the word tests. I like the word challenges. I like the word growth periods. Yeah. Like every book that you will read, most of them will say the same thing, meaning that there's times to plant, to seed, and times to reap, to reward, and to collect. But in those times of seeding, you will be challenged. Like, and I was challenged. You know, you will set up plans in order to get what you want. And sometimes those plans, they work for a while, and then life just happens. I was doing classroom work. Sorry, I was doing classroom work, and my knee decided to act up and get up. That was my plan, making like $35 an hour, working a huge amount of hours a week for a few months, get the money to move to BC, and get an internet site going on so I can promote myself as a speaker, business cards, and the whole business shebang there, the whole business thing there. Getting courses, more courses, so I can, upgrade. Getting in a course with John Maxwell. I think he's amazing. He's, for me, John Maxwell, besides Bob Proctor and Marilyn Monroe, they're on the top, of teaching. But then my knee gave out. So as a normal human being who doesn't know those laws, who is learning these laws, I got into some kind of depression. That's why you haven't seen me in a few weeks. I was in that kind of depression. Thank God that I had mentors. I have 2 mentors and I have a support group. Support group, mastermind, you could call it that, like an, I don't know, the 10th principle of the mastermind. Where it's a person that believes in those laws. And they see past the human being, and they know that that human being, and it's any human being, it's not me, it's not anybody in particular, any human being has the same potential to attain his dreams, whatever the circumstances. Look, what's his name there? Have this book. Where did I put it? Anyways, I don't remember what the book is. Oh, here you go. This guy here. Nick Vujicic. This guy. No arms, no legs. But he's successful like crazy. Why? Because he didn't let the circumstances. I should have read that book more. So I got into this, okay, what do I do now? And I was so stuck into my old habits of how to generate income that I said somewhere inside myself, and my paradigm, we talked about paradigm, told me that, okay, just forget it. So I stopped doing everything. It was good for me, got back to old habits, Netflix. Working like a nut. My knee got better, so I started working again, but without committing to my growth. I stopped committing to my growth because I kind of abandoned the idea of that's what I want to do. What I said in my vision. Well, thank God I have mentors, I have a support group, I have friends that believe in me, that believe in those laws, and that believe that I can attain that. And they've seen me speaking, and I've spoken for them, for a few of them on the platform. And they see what I can, and they all think I'm amazing. Me and my paradigm, up until now, think I'm a dipshit. Think it's all bullshit. Because that's not what I was reflecting to myself. That's not what has been reflected to me by my peers. When I say peers, I mean family, friends, blah, blah, blah. So thank God I had these people, because I just got off a call with my coach. I had another conversation this morning with one of my support group. Yesterday, I had another conversation from another coach from my support group. Friday, I went on two masterminds. I'm part of a community of masterminds. If you want to get in touch with that, let me know. So once I started to commit to myself again, and it's funny because in the beginning of last week, I was just seeing my results and that, no, this is not what I want. I didn't like what I created, because you create where you're at today. What you are at today is what you thought about yesterday. Like I said, know the other spots there. Taking time, because today it's pretty short. It's on the brain. It's pretty really, really short. So yeah. So last week I said, okay, that's enough. I decided to recommit to myself, recommit to my growth, give myself back the value that I really am. And once, I don't know if you ever tried meditation, but if you ever really connect with yourself, with your soul, or God, or source, or whatever you want to call it, this voice comes up inside you and tells you are amazing. It tells you the truth. And the more I meditate, the more I'm plugged into that truth. I'm talking to you and it's saying that to me inside you. You're amazing. You're limitless. You're pure. You have everything you need to do whatever you want. But that was not the message that I was getting before. So the more I meditate, the more the truth comes out. The more it's present inside me. So the more I have a choice to listen to it or to ignore it. But the more it's really funny, because the more I don't want to listen to it, the more I have to put energy in other things that are not necessarily good for me to snuff that voice, to silence that voice. And it's just, once you open that faucet, it just never stops, which in a way is amazing. But you have to have a lot of faith, you have to have a lot of courage to actually listen and act upon it and agree with it, because our ego will not want us to agree with that. Our ego wants us to not agree, to disagree to that voice, to prove to the world that they were wrong and I was right, or the ego was right. I'd rather be wrong and filthy rich than be right and poor. I don't remember who said that, but I'm saying it today. So yeah, so I'm back. The moral of the story. So I committed back to myself, committed to another program, a small one, a very cheap one, because financially up until now, I'm in the hole. Up until now. I keep saying up until now because it stops in a way, it stops the paradigm. Up until now, so that means it's finished. It doesn't have any more power on me. And I have to say that we say it often enough. So we're going to go in what we're here for today. We're here for thinking we're rich, I think. But all I'm saying there is part of that process. It's part of the process where you're going to go through some difficulties. You're going to go through, it's like a conveyor belt. You know what a conveyor belt is, the rollers and the strap. Well, look at it, your success is full of conveyor belts. Give it to yourself, and then you seem to be flying, cruises up and all that. But conveyor belts, they have an end there. So you fall into a dip. And my dip was my knee gave out, and I had to find new ways to earn income, and I didn't believe that I could, that I had the strength or possibility. I kind of gave up, and then I got back into talking to my mentors and recommitting to myself. I'm back on the conveyor belt now. So now I'm going to have another. There's going to be other dips. Once you know there's going to be dip, you can be emotionally prepared for it. Because the trick is in all this is not to let your emotions dictate your life. You have control. I have control over myself. I have control over my body, my emotions. If I only live on my emotions, okay, I don't feel like doing that, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get nowhere. If you listen to all people who really, really, really made it big, I mean, not big only in the financial way, but in the sport industry and all kinds of endeavors, all kinds of careers, all kinds of ways, they have been through struggles. And if they would have listened to their emotions, they would be here today. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger says it best, and I don't remember exactly what it words was, but it was more like you got to get up. You got to just get up and do it and enjoy the process, fall in love with the process. He'd say he would be anxious to get to his next rep, you know, rep, bench press or whatever, because he knew that that next rep would bring him closer to the goal, even if that next rep was like ripping him apart, even if he didn't feel like it. He'd say, I'd fall in love with the process. I'd like, yes, thank you. And look at him today. Okay, enough of me. Let's go. So we're gonna go. Oh, I thought I forgot the recording. So we're gonna go with the brain. The brain. I don't know if you ever saw the cartoon. The brain. The brain. All right. So the brain is the 12th step to think and grow rich. So there's a lot of things that we went through before, so we're not going to go through them again. Like I said, this is a really short one. We won't do all that. Okay, so we're in the brain today. Tomorrow is going to be a 6th sense, and then I have 2 bonuses in those PDFs. They're not in the book; they're just bonuses. So the brain is a broadcast and receiving station for thought. So think of it as a radio station. Think of it as what antennas. So how does our brain work? So every human brain is broadcasting and listening to the vibration of thought. You can also pick up the vibration of thought that's being released by other brains. The best way to put it is you're sitting beside your friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and she's thinking of something, and then you're thinking of something, and then you say, you know what I'm thinking about, and you tell her, and well, I'm thinking exactly the same thing. Well, that's how it works. So, and it is strong enough to, a lot of times, okay, let's say, okay, the universe needs something. Because that's scientific reality also what I'm going to talk about this. Let's say that the world needs something, the universe needs something, technology needs something. The universe will release that thought. And whoever's brain is in the good vibration of receiving and is looking for, like an inventor, especially looking for an invention, he will pick up on that vibration, but he will not be the only one, because there will be others that are looking, and whoever acts first on it will win. Did you ever notice that at the same time as there's one type of movie coming out, there's a few other B movies coming out? Like Independence Day, there was the movie Independent Day. Pacific Rim, I don't know if you see those movies, it's amazing movies, if you like sci-fi. Pacific Rim, there was Atlantic Rim. There's a lot of B movies on YouTube. So whoever took it to the highest level of quality and one whatever Independence Day went way over Independence. Look at Independence Day, it's like bullshit B movie. It's still a good movie, but it compared to Independence Day, it's not the same thing. So what I'm saying is like symphonies, music. It's you will hear 2 different groups of music and come out with some sort of same kind of sound coming out. That's because 2 of them picked up on the same vibration. So yeah, so creative imagination is the receiving set of the brain, which receives, that's released by the brain of others. When stimulated or stepped up, and we looked at the sexual transmutation, that's what it means. Stimulated, it's in a way. I read a vibration, the mind becomes more receptive to the vibration of thought, which reaches it through the ether from outside source. So it's there, it's out there. Whatever has to be created is already there. The stepping up process takes place through the positive emotions or the negative emotions. through the motion, the vibration of thought may be increased. Now we have to be careful. I said earlier that what did I say? I said earlier that we have to be careful not to let our emotions take over, but we mustn't ignore them, because our emotions, they will either take us to our dreams or take us away from our dreams. When I say not ignore them, is acknowledge that they are there. Acknowledge that you don't feel like it. Acknowledge that you are depressed, angry, sad, whatever. You know, acknowledge that that's there. Because if you repress it, it's only going to come back like with a whiplash. So you acknowledge that it's there. Okay, I don't feel like it, but I'm going to do it anyway because I know the result. And that's at the same time as telling your paradigm to get out of your way. You know, you have to acknowledge the paradigm that is there. You have to acknowledge it. If you only repress it, push it away, it's only going to come back with a whiplash. So it's there. Okay, yes, you're there, paradigm. Whatever it can be. You're not good enough. Okay. Yes, I know you're there, but I don't need you. You know, I am good enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. Keep on repeating. So the emotion of sex, I mentioned it earlier. The emotion of sex stands at the end of the list of humans' emotion as far as intensity and driving force are concerned. The brain, which has been stimulated by the emotion of sex, vibrates at a much more rapid rate than it does when emotion is absent. I've started to do something before my morning meditation. I get, you know, when I set up for my meditation, I'm sitting down and I put my earphones for the meditation. I think about 1 or 2 minutes to imagine. I think I mentioned it earlier into one of the videos. To imagine that a ball of red. Yeah, I did mention it, a ball of red. Like lava red, like where my genitals are in that area, and that's where your emotion, that's where your chakra, you want to call it, your energy point of sex is. And imagine it taking more space, more space, more space, and then taking over that energy, that light taking over all your body. And I promise you, probably not the first, second, third time, but you know, as you go on practicing this, you're gonna feel your brain get, you know, like clearer, like fresher. Like you're gonna feel like this, you're gonna feel that light in your brain. And you can actually heal your body with that energy. You know, as you concentrate, every time I've done it and, you know, like focus this on my knee actually got better that day. So it's very powerful, very resonated and very powerful. So the brain, which has been stimulated by most of sex, the result of sex transmutation is the increase of the vital rate of vibration of thought to such a pitch that the creative imagination becomes highly receptive to ideas which it's picked up from the ego. So it's like if you're, sorry, I have to say. So it's like if you have this antenna, and the more you're connected, the higher the antenna goes, and the bigger the dish to receive whatever's information is out there. The subconscious mind is the sending station of the brain, through which vibration of the thought are broadcast. You will see that the broadcast is for in the factor through which you mix feelings or emotion with your thought and pass them on to your subconscious mind. So I'm listening to Read the Feel right now with Bob Proctor, one of his programs. And he actually says this, he says, imagine your dream, whatever you want, let's say it's an amount of money. Imagine that amount of money going from your consciousness, which we could imagine it's here, but he put it's over here, going through an invisible barrier into your subconscious. And then imagine what it feels. So you get results in that, right? Through thought, feeling, action, result. Your thought must be aligned with the vibrational match with your feeling and action to produce the results you want. So we've seen that already. Our brain, conscious, responsible for thought and feeling, and a subconscious mind, responsible for action and result. So you really have to be careful with what you think. Really, don't screw around with yourself. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Is, if you're warm, like lukewarm, oh yeah, but you're only gonna get a lot of results. You're not gonna get big results. You're probably damaging your life a lot more than you think, especially now that you know. The result manifests in your health, relationships, or your financial freedom. If you don't like the result, look at what you've been thinking. Auto-suggestion is the medium by which you may put into operation your broadcastation through auto-suggestion, affirmation, and desire may be transmitted into monetary equivalent towards riches. Three principles to keep in mind: the conscious mind, creative energy, and auto-suggestion. Combination of these three will be powerful, manifesting your desires. Lesson learned: pay attention to what you're thinking. You have over 70,000, some people say 90,000 of it, internal dialogue per day. Notice, keep in mind what you're thinking. Everything is energy and frequency and vibration. Even this apple this morning, I got really like in a bad mood, And my cat and I have been like struggling because doing this process to get in. It's for a while there, it's an emotional roller coaster. And my cat is there. And he senses that, so he got into a heavy fight this morning. Everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. I thought it needs to be aligned with our goals and dreams in order to achieve it. Change the story in your head and believe you can do it. Key points: creative imagination is receiving of the brain, which receives thought released by the brain and others. When the brain is raised through positive thinking, the brain becomes more receptive to receiving the thought. Important fact: through energy. Thought is energy. I didn't sleep last night. Thought is energy that is traveling at a higher rate of vibration. When the vibration is elevated, it can be picked up by other brains. The brain that has been stimulated by such transmutation is vibrating at a much higher rate than when emotion is lost. Additional key points. We'll finish with that. So additional key points, along with the subconscious mind and the imagination, constitute a mental faculty for sending and receiving signal from the broadcasting station. Through auto-suggestion, desire may be transmitted in monetary and equivalent of riches. How our mind operates is intangible, yet it is more powerful than physical forces. Brain is wired by 10 to 14 million nerve cells in your brain. Cells cortex arrange in definite patterns, communicating with each other to manage bodily function as well as thought. Okay. This is very important what I'm going to say to you. And I was reminded of that yesterday, and for a point there, okay, now I'm just going to finish. I'm going to talk about that after. Wherever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. So by understanding how the brain works, I would combine the three principles: conscious mind, creative imagination, and auto-suggestion to help you achieve what you want in life. Success is a progressive realization of a worthy goal and idea. Okay, so what I wanted to share with you, and we're going to finish with that. I think we went over the time today. You have to celebrate yourself. Even if you're not a Bible thumper or a believer, or you don't read the Bible or not. In the Bible, there's two words that are the most mentioned. Of course, faith and celebration. In those days, they would celebrate for everything. Yeah. So we forgot the art of celebration. And when I'm saying celebration, I'm not telling you to go to a party. That's what it is. That's what it is. But I mean celebrating yourself. Okay, you've listened to me. You take the time to listen to that. Celebrate yourself. You went to buy the book. Celebrate yourself. You read one page of the book. Celebrate yourself. But when I'm saying celebrate, it's just a good tap you can do. You did it. I'm proud of you. And every time you do that, that creates new neurons, new connection in your brain. And that's actually true. That's the reality. That's scientifically proven. And you train yourself to every time that you get something new, it's like when you train a dog. Okay, let's say that there's this book that was written on orcas, the way they train orcas. And every time the orca did something wrong, the technique was to ignore what the orca did wrong and redo the exercise without any reprimand and without nothing. You wouldn't reprimand our orca and size and ass. But every time he would do something good, you would give him a treat. So what do you think the orca did? It programmed the orca, it trained the orca to do the best effort, to do more, to celebrate itself, to in a way, you know. So the same thing when you train dogs, you always, dog trainers, they always have a bag of treats. When the dog did something good, they always give them a treat. So it's kind of a training. So the same thing for us. When we celebrate ourselves, when you pat yourself on the back and or you jump up and down and yeah, you did it. All right, look at yourself in the mirror. I'm proud of you. I love you. You can do it. You did it. You're amazing. And all that. Every time you do that, you create an endorphin, whatever. You create this like when you go to the gym, it's natural. You create that into yourself, and it wants you to have more. Like anybody who had a tattoo will understand what I'm saying, and there are many tattoos. Some people have one tattoo and then don't want anymore because it is painful actually to get a tattoo, especially in some areas. But yeah, phew. But when you get a tattoo, once the needle starts to poke into you, your body goes into a reaction and creates this endorphin that kind of numbs that pain, but at the same time, it goes all through your body. So you kind of get a rush, you kind of get a drug. It's the same thing when you start lifting weight at the gym. You get this rush, this drug, a natural drug inside you that wants you to do more. Once if you get into it. But it's the same thing for celebrating yourself. So you have to every little victory. You don't feel like sitting down and meditate it, and you've done it for 5 minutes and you can't stand it anymore. Well, celebrate your 5 minutes. Don't bag on yourself on the head for the 10, 15 minutes you didn't do. Celebrate yourself for that 5 minutes. Celebrate yourself for every little thing you do. And that will take you higher. Because if you don't, if you're the type that I was up until now, performance-based, where it's never good enough, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to be banging yourself on the head. You won't be able to get into gratitude. You won't be able to get into a higher level of energy, vibrational, positive energy, because you're always going to be banging yourself on the head, and it has to stop. You're not going to get nowhere with that. It just has to stop. So do yourself a favor. Be good to yourself. You are an amazing human being. You are an amazing creating machine. You have all that you need inside you to get attain your dreams. Give yourself the credit. Just for that, give yourself the credit. Not in an ego-based way, but give yourself the credit that you can do it. Give yourself the credit that you have to do that and celebrate. Celebrate. You're a smoker, you jump on cigarette, celebrate that. You're a coffee drinker like me, I'm a smoker. I mean, my coffee, but you're a coffee drinker, I try to drink less coffee. I celebrate when I don't take that extra coffee. I've drank 6 glasses of water today, which I usually don't. So celebrate, and don't wait till they say a lot of the times they say, okay, let's give yourself an objective. When you attain it, give yourself the reward. But if your objective you attain at the beginning of the week and the reward is at the end of the week, well, once you get into that reward time, you won't have the same feeling as, meaning that I don't say give yourself a reward the same day. It's just pat yourself on the back. Celebrate emotionally the victory that you're there. Don't wait. Oh, I went to no. Do it today. Do it as soon as you've done. Okay, if you can't, if you're in a meeting, you can't tap yourself on the back or jump on down and do jumping jacks or whatever. You what works for you. Do it right after. Don't. Okay, so that's it for me. I hope you got value out of that. That's my goal, to make sure that everybody gets value out of that, to everybody understands these laws and work to your goals. And remember, there's nobody else in your life or in this world that can give this world what it needs from you. Is that clear? All right.